Yeah, I still contend that Franz is the guy for Orlando. And like, it's so funny as this conversation came up. I see Kevin O'Connor tweeted a video, and you're gonna laugh. You're actually gonna laugh really hard. Actually, the tweet is: agree or disagree. Paolo Banchero will someday be one of the NBA's 5 to 10 best players ever.
Ever? What? This is. I feel like you're pranking me.
I'm not pranking you. This is an actual video that they made.
5 to 10 best players in the history of the NBA?
Top 5 or top 10 best players ever, XJ.
Bro, come on, man. I don't even want to, like, come on, man. What are we talking about here? This is nonsense. I'm trying so hard not to be dismissive. I can't do it with this. This is ridiculous. 5 to 10 best players of all time. Like, it's one thing if you say he's be a Hall of Famer, I'd still be like, whoa, that's crazy. You're talking about in that, like, who is he kicking out of the? Who are you saying Paolo Banchero is going to be better than? Steph Curry? Like who? You're saying he's going to be better than Kevin Durant? Like, easily? What are we talking about here?
To be fair, I haven't watched the video, so I don't want to be one of the, it could just be like they could be making they could be doing what we're doing. Like maybe it's a clickbaity title and they're like, wait, what? No, but yeah. I don't think so. It does seem like they're like, I don't know, it could be realistic. But
can we talk about Paolo first? I know you were bringing up Franz Wagner. I mean, Paolo Banchero is not a snub from the All-Star team. Paolo Banchero should not sniff the Eastern Conference All-Star team. Maybe he will one day. I'm not saying I'm like off on Paolo. He's garbage, anything like. I'm not saying that at all. Paolo may be he may be a perennial all-star in his career. I could totally see that. I see that as the range of possible outcomes. Do I see him as a perennial time all-NBA, multi-time MVP, leading teams to championships, being a top 5 to 10 greatest player of all time in the history of the game? No, I don't see. I see that as like what is the line from Oppenheimer with regard to you know, you've seen Oppenheimer. You know when he says like
you just have to be a little bit more specific and I'll get the line.
When he's talking to Einstein,
it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just like the line, and then you just say it. No, the line when he's talking to Einstein and he's like, well, there's a chance that we could doing this nuke could like start a chain reaction that could like end up destroying the world. And what there was some line about it being like 0 or less than 0 or something like that. Like
so like. Yeah,
a non-zero chance. I think that's what it was. Is that right?
It was near 0.
Near 0. Okay, I'm sorry I went in this tangent to get near 0, but like to me, I'm saying like it's not impossible, but it's effectively impossible. I don't think that that's a possibility for Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero is one of the least efficient players in the NBA. His true shooting is in the 23rd percentile. Last year was in the 20th percentile. Hasn't changed very much. His effective field goal percentage was in the 8th percentile last year, 17th percentile this year. There's nobody in the league who is taking as many shots as Paolo Banchero, who has as much usage as Paolo Banchero, who is as inefficient as he is. This is like for Knicks fans who, lived through, having RJ Barrett conversations for like 5 years or whatever it was. This is like RJ Barrett with like, with the free reins to like run the team. Like it's like RJ, like, hey, let's feature RJ Barrett and have him like run pick and roll and like, lead the team. It's like, that's what Paolo Banchero is doing. He's shooting 40% from the mid range and he takes a ton of mid range shots. It's like for me, at least when I watch Orlando, I'm like, is their offense geared to like get Paolo Banchero like mid range shots? Like it's a weird outcome that you like that both teams want it. Like both teams are like, yeah, we would love for your possessions to end with a Paolo Banchero mid-range shot. And then Magic are like, yeah, we would also love for our possessions to end with a Paolo Banchero mid-range shot. It's like strange. Like both teams are like, yeah, let's do that. And that's why they don't score because he's extremely inefficient. Bad free throw shooter. He started out the year shooting well from 3. That's coming way down or will continue to come way down, I believe. Shooting
less than 40% from the mid-range. And like,
on high volume.
On high volume. Like he's shooting 39.7% from the mid-range and he shoots in the 97th percentile volume. He's averaging 8 attempts per game from the mid-range or per 75.
That's lunacy. That's lunacy. Nobody's running an offense like that in the modern NBA. Nobody's running an offense where a guy that bad at doing something does it that often. Like that just doesn't make any sense on a rational basis. But for sure, Paolo is very talented, very skilled. Is so big and strong at his size to have the handle that he does, the dexterity that he does, the athleticism that he does. Like, it's incredible, and that's why I think people see the ceiling for him as like endless. But as far as the production on court, he's nowhere near an all-star conversation. He just shouldn't be in the discussion whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think that's like, what's the thing you always say, XJ, where you're like, we always talk about how like, just because you were right doesn't mean that you're predictive. I'm going to adjust how I gauge your predictive abilities. You know, like maybe Paolo will end up being one of the 5 or 10 best players ever. You just said like it's near zero, but it's not zero. So maybe that will end up being right. But if it ends up happening, I would still similarly question anybody who right now is like, oh, what I'm seeing, I just can predict forward and see it. Like I don't get what you see.
To bring that point home, when knowledge is defined in philosophy as justified true belief. So if you have a true belief about something, you're correct about your belief about something, and it is justified, that is considered knowledge. Just having true belief about something without justification is a lucky guess, and that is not knowledge. And that is what we're talking about here. If you say like, I think this is going to happen, but I have no justification for it, and it happens to be correct, that did not mean you had prior knowledge. That meant that you just guessed about something and you happen to be right. So that's
so I do think we need to be a little bit more open-minded though, because I do think like when you say something like that, it comes off a little bit too dismissive, because you're
being very dismissive right now.
Yeah. And I agree with you. You know, I agree, not agree with your dismissiveness, but I do agree with you that like we're both looking at the same data. But is it possible that they're seeing something beyond the data, just in the physical profile, that we're not seeing? Like, is it possible that's there? And
yes,
should
of
that
course
be
that's
something
possible.
we reconsider?
Yes, of course that's possible. And I'm being dismissive because I annoyed myself. I mean, you annoyed me, I'll say. I'll blame you, Geoff. You annoyed me by saying that Kevin O'Connor had this piece about, I mean, I know you didn't watch it, so we don't really know what it's about, but it sounded like somebody suggesting that Paolo is going to be could be a top 5 to 10 player of all time. And that just infuriated me, because I don't think there's a justified true belief about that. Like, there could be a justification for that. I don't know anything about his physical profile, anything that would justify that position. Like, and I'm happy to be out there on that position. If it happened, you know, that would be, I would love for everybody to clip this and send it back to me for the rest of his, you know, after his Hall of Fame speech. Everybody can, you know, send this back to me in 2047 or whatever it is. But yeah, I just, that's really why I'm sounding so dismissive. But yes, of course it's fair that people can be seeing things that we're not seeing, or I'm not seeing, based on other things that, you know, I'm not evaluating as well, or as expertly. So that's totally fair. Thank you for reining me in.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I forget what you called it, but I'm trying to do the thing that you said that we should be trying to do, where we're like leading the other person to discussing oppositional arguments or whatever. I forget what you called it.
Steelman.
Yeah, there you go. And it is important to point out, he is a unicorn of a body, 6'10", 21 years old. So like XJ said, we would, if somebody came down from above and was like, careful guys, this guy's going to be a multiple all-star, I totally buy that. I totally buy that he could be a multiple time all-star down the line. Top 5 to 10 player of all time is just, I think that's where XJ's pushback is really coming from. Like, that is Kevin Durant, that is Steph Curry, you know, that's that range of player. That's Kobe Bryant. It's hard. It's just really hard to be that good, honestly. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's absolutely where it's coming from for me. So I appreciate the even killedness that you brought to that conversation, but you sprung that on me. I know it was sprung on you, but I'm just like, what the fuck are we talking about with this?
We're over 3 months into the pod. It had to happen eventually, where I was the one reeling you in. It couldn't just be me yelling at the computer forever. It had to, at some point, it had to be me being the even keeled one.
Yeah, no, it's been more than there's just this time. I'm just imagining like being like, who do you think's better? Is it like Magic or Paolo? Like, you know, like, I like, who do you think's more dominant? Was it Shaq or Paolo? I don't know, man. It's tough, dude. It's close, man. Let's just have arguments all day about it. Like, that'd be a crazy world we're living in, honestly. I don't even know if that might make me question everything I know about basketball.
And what's wild is like, dude, we're gonna be old as fuck by the time he's considered for the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So we're gonna be the definition of old man yells at clouds. Like, we're gonna be the old man. No, he wasn't that good.
If you see LeBron James, like, LeBron James, Paolo shits on LeBron James, man. Are you serious? LeBron just played for a long time. Paolo was that guy. It's like, I can't. This sounds like a crazy world, man.
There are gonna be those like kids born in 2018 who are telling us that LeBron played against janitors and stuff like that. LeBron sucked, man. Have you seen his competition?
I think that's custodians, sir. We're in 2050. We're in 2050. We don't call them janitors anymore. Okay. Anyway, that's hilarious.